on to Styx once again. It's cool map. It's a dark map, so it'll be a little hard to tell what is on what hard points on the ships. It's also going to be kind of tricky to visually inspect ships for damage, so I recommend you, dear viewer, make good use of the DC control panel on the bottom right. I will hopefully keep an eye on that and open that up when possible to help everyone be able to, see, make sure they can know everything that's going on in the game, even though it is a dark map. Some rocks everywhere, 5 points, 3k 4v4, pretty standard stuff overall. This is, funnily enough, this is probably the most pillars adjacent map that I've got, just because the cover is giant tubes of asteroids. But makes for a very different game than pillars because of how the cover is spaced, and that's very important. Let's take an eye on these fleets. Looks like we're on the OSP side first. Type 3 roll-offs. OSP Type 3s are only torpedoes. So, yeah, well. And either 91... Yeah, that's 91 AMMs, presumably. Might be some other things, but there's almost no point defense on this thing, so that's gotta be it. Shuttle. Okay, electronic warfare shuttle. Electronic warfare. Okay, and some scout shuttles with lock-up jammers. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. It's a very dark map, but I think it's atmosphere-wise, it's awesome. It's just kind of hard to see what's going on sometimes, which makes it maybe not the best for casting. But I think diversity in the map pool is very important. Makes for more interesting games. This guy is, oh man, this guy's a broadside machine. Yeah, 2 broadsiders with one covered on the backside by T-30s and one by container missiles and T-30s. Mine containers, okay. Okay, this other one has mine containers as well. With presumably a scout. Yeah, with T-30s and T-20s. Very interesting. Hey! Hey! Alright! The people are enjoying it. And we haven't even really gotten off the ground. That's good to hear. Does this fucker have 2 container ships? Oh no, this is so cursed. What is this? How did you fit this many? I'm gonna have to add this guy on Steve and ask him to send me this fleet. What is this? So that's the strangest build I've ever seen. I've never seen more than 1 container ship in one fleet. And not only does he have 2 container ships, he also has tons and tons of missiles. These have to be the most bare bones missiles ever, with just a secret head. And they might even be direct fire? Because I don't know how you do that and stay within 3k. He's already firing. And it's smart, because that means you can get more missiles down the field. Well, then your shipping get better, which will help with overwhelming point defense. They're presumably in formation and firing all as one. We haven't even looked at the OSP team. This guy's also container ship. He has a bunch of containers, and he's got some defenses here. So these 2 are going to be people to keep an eye on. Overall, the OSP team is pretty under ton, or under combat, because they only have really 2 line ships, sort of 3. But this one's also kind of a backline missile launcher. It's good to see the missiles coming back. There was a space there for a pretty huge, for like a week and a half, where no one was really playing container ships because the ANS teams were going really hard on the anti-missile systems of one sort or another. You can see AMMs coming out here. AMMs will eventually wear out against this absurd barrage of containers. This is a missile voxel, as we can see. What does he have on him? Looks like the container, one of the containers is getting locked up. Actually, no. What is it? Drive's disabled. What the fuck happened to you? Some of the containers might have come off and like hit him in the back, which is unfortunate. These AMMs are not gonna cut it forever. You're gonna run out. He's already out of AMMs. Is bringing some hybrids, a lot of hybrids to the party, Type 3s. Might not have an opportunity to use them though. Is able to soft kill 1 container, but these are gonna see it and get through, because this thing doesn't have any gun point defense, and it's, oh man, even more tracking on. It looks like the Solomon is bringing Sarissas, but this guy is gonna die before he can really get his payload out. Yeah, okay, so never mind. This is what I was saying earlier, is that these containers have to be as bare bones as possible, and that means tiny, tiny warheads. So even though they are containers, and they do significant damage if they get through, they're not your typical container that just one-shots ships like this, or 2 or 3 shots ships like this. One volley, I should say, if anything gets through. But by having that spam, that ensures more get through. Now, will that work out for him? I don't know. It's worked out for him so far. Some stuff has gotten through. We got some hybrids coming in on this little crew. Coming out of this ship. No, coming out of this ship. Yeah, so they're Mark 2 hybrids. Can do a little bit of damage. But some are getting stuck in the terminal maneuver. It looks like one slammed into this guy. Oh, yeah. So this guy's in even more trouble. That's one of the big problems with bringing a bunch of container liners, is they don't really have much defensive capacity. This guy's got a beam. This guy's got 2 beams, 3 beams, and apologies, a bunch of point defense and a gun. So if he can get in here and on top of the OSP team, they're going to be in huge trouble, because the OSP team doesn't really have anything to counter this as it stands, other than, well, I guess a lot of containers. But it looks like the container player is busy with other things, including ramming his containers into the wall. Oh, 2 Solomons on the ANS team, ladies and gentlemen. This is something else that I haven't really seen. Okay, so this guy is what the missiles were coming out of. Santa. So we have a container player here with some nice pink and teal colors. Very nice. Coming out, hybrids going down. Those might be headed off towards this little one, which would be an unfortunate waste, or it might just be swinging them out and around. More containers going after this gun scout. Interesting. This is unfortunately going to die, because even though those don't do that much damage, they're going to do enough to kill a fucking sprinter. What is this game? I haven't even gotten over the ANS fleet, and it's getting blown up. Unfortunate. So this beam guy... Okay, wait, no, this is the beam guy. This is the guns and hybrids guy with tons of PD, long-range PD, and this one has just stone walls out the wazoo. Okay. Gok Perfection had a voxel. Well, it's still alive. It can still get some missiles out. It can still fight. It's just its payload has been severely damaged. He might be able to. No, he's out of restores, so he can't get anything in any of his stuff back online. He also spent a whole lot of AMMs that didn't really do that much. This thing has been locked up, so which means presumably these broadsiders are, yeah, they're getting into position. They're arcing now to get some power down the field. They've already fired once. We missed it because there's so much going on, and they're firing a second time. Presumably this team has a... are they firing at 2 targets at once?
The enemy secured zone
I see. Okay, yeah.
zone dagger.
Those 450s are going to be good against the Solomon, but not nearly as strong as a beam turret is against, well, everything the OSP has on offer. Especially this monitor. It's doing excellent use of that. More missiles going on up here. There is so much. This game has a lot of action going on. I apologize for not being able to keep up with all of it. Of course, we also have a lot of containers getting slammed into the rocks. So many track fires going out. The OSP team is having to stay on top of managing their missiles, and they're having to fire fast, and that means track firing. Cruise firing takes time. Track firing doesn't. Problem with track firing is, of course, that you will inevitably wind up slamming your missiles into walls. Looks like these might be slamming into this wall as well. No, they're fine. A whole barrage of missiles coming in on the Solomon from all 3 container ships. Even the liners adding their own Type 3s. Oh, he has so many defense priorities. But I think some of these might get through. I'm trying to keep a wide vision because there's stuff going on at the backside of the map that I'm trying to show you as well. But we just got to come down here and see what happens to this Solomon. This Solomon is an absolute champion. Oh, that's so sad. All those being soft killed by the shuttle's chaff. There's a lot of gunfire going into the Solomon, but it's the missiles that are the real story here. Because if any of those containers hit, then it'll be in big trouble. But honestly, I think in a gun duel, it completely eats these poor little liners alive. Because it's close range, it's got beams, it's ready to kill. More missiles coming in. Oh, it's getting taken down though, slowly, steadily. And as it's taking damage, those turrets are going offline. Looks like all the one beam turret is still online. It's got 5 restores. Solomon could resurrect, as Solomons do. In the meantime, during this insane push on every side of the map, the ANS team has taken all the points. So even if the Solomon goes down, if it can disable this frontline team here, Secret Mink and Gentry, that will cause them to not really have anything that can cap. Because container ships capping is just a recipe for disaster. And I suppose these shuttles could cap, but if this crew gets taken down, it's definitely over and the ANS wins. Electronante, I apologize for not looking at your fleet at all. There's just been so much other stuff going on. He's been holding down the fort. Looks like, yeah, fighting probably this container ship. That's a lot of damage. Okay, this thing's going down, and it's probably going to stay that way with crossfire from all these container ships. Now we can go over here. What are you shooting at? You are shooting at, and you have been shooting at, a container ship. Not only have you been shooting at it, you've taken it down. B-Lightning 420's container ship, completely dead. Got off. I actually can't tell because when things are killed out like this, their missiles get zeroed out. So this guy doing good work. Coming through here, probably ate a lot of missiles. And then, or his point defense blocked a lot of missiles. And then looped around this alpha side to kill his team. Yeah, this has been an absolute bliss. Most of the fighting has gone on inside the OSP's spawn area, which is here right around Bravo. Oh my goodness. And the ANS flagships have been completely obliterating this very high firepower but equally fragile team out of the OSP. This little wolf pack over here. Man, Electro, how did you build this fleet? How did you build this fleet? This is another fleet that I was like, I would love to be sent. I wish you could ask people after a match like, hey, can I copy your fleet real quick? Because how did you build this? An Axford, a Vauxhall, 2 Reigns, and a Sprinter. And, I mean, it's got robust point defense. And, yeah, scouts, spotlighters, jammers, point defense. Not robust point defense, robust E-War. And then they have good point defense and good guns. These aren't the most gunned up ships I've ever seen. In fact, they've got a lot of empty hardpoints now that I look at it. But these are powerful enough that they can do work, especially with this little combined arms force this guy has going on. These two little groups in separate areas. I really appreciate this. This is how to use formations correctly, by the way. For anyone out there who's annoyed that I always bitch about people using formations poorly, there is a way to use formations properly, and this is it right here. Lead ship, tow ship for supporting purposes or whatever, and that's it. You put them on loose, and which this guy is clearly done on both of these with how they're maneuvering behind, and that way the lead ship isn't slowed down by the tow ship, and or the support ship rather, and it can just do work, get guns to target, and oh yay. Look at that, the entire known galaxy has been bathed in yellow. Big apologies to everyone out there who doesn't like yellow. Too bad. Everyone is yellow now. Everyone is just going to be day glow yellow. More coming out of this. Whoo! That was an intense match. We're not even 15 minutes into it. And half the battle power on the field has been destroyed just about. Yeah, I'd say half, because 2 full container fleets out of the OSP team are gone, and 1 battleship fleet out of the ANS team is destroyed. Obviously, the ANS team is significantly ahead on points, and the OSP just doesn't have anything left to challenge the larger ships. They could try some clever things, rotate around, play the points game, but I don't think that's going to be very effective, especially if this little voxel over here takes Bravo, the only point the OSP has been able to have. Looks like someone's taking Delta. It's you. No? It's you. Very nice. So in all the confusion, the missile liner managed to come down here, and he's not quite going to finish capping Dagger, unfortunately. He's going to move off and start firing missiles. This is not the target you want to be firing at. This thing has Sarissa's perfect counter to oh, these aren't hybrids though. These are yeah, that's right. OSP doesn't have hybrids. I see 300s, I think hybrids, because everybody uses hybrids, but these are torpedoes. I think defenders will have this. Oh, and Stonewall, yeah, these are toast. That's not enough, it's not enough mass, not enough missile mass there. So this guy's in big trouble. It's gun Solomon. Both of these Solomons did an incredible amount of work with this combining missiles and guns, and the other one just holding W and left mouse button, moving forward and shooting. And that's it. That's all you did, and that's all you needed to do. The immense havoc and destruction that this thing wrought upon the OSP team is impressive. It's very impressive, and it was game deciding. I think I'm gonna dedicate this one to everyone who says battleships are dead and they're not good for anything. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because I'm really petty. I'm a petty bitch. And I don't like to play as battleships or against battleships, but they absolutely have a place in the game. I don't like to play as battleships because I'm bad with them and they get blown up whenever I play as battleships. I don't like to play against battleships because I'm bad against them and they blow me up. But they do have a play, unless of course you get them with containers. That's not a battleship. It's trying to do a dramatic zoom. You get them with containers. This is the alive one. Where's the dead one? It had to have exploded. No, it's so far back here. It's so close to the OSP line. Unreal. Unreal. Who is this? Grenade. Okay. Good work, Grenade. MVP of the match, no question. Electronaut doing a lot of work as well. The silent workhorse over here. Looping around the backside, capping the points, and eventually coming up on the OSP's flank and taking him down. Man, I was real worried about the difficulty of seeing things in this map with how dark and spooky it is. But no need. The action was so fast, so intense, that funnily enough, we missed a lot of it. Because, I mean, look at all the little dead shits around. All these little... all the shuttles. I have no idea how these died. Presumably they got shot and not missiled. I'm sure a couple of them got missiled. But they're just dead. They're around. They were trying to do stuff. They're trying to scout and things. And they died. I don't know what happened to them. I was busy looking at the big ships getting exploded. These guys... don't fly your ships in formation. That should help. Hopefully, if he takes the device, because yeah, they won't want to turn. Getting things to maneuver in formation is really tricky. Oh boy. A little bit of OSP damage coming out. These gunships have struggled so hard to get the damage out. 415, this voxel is good. It looks like their track isn't that great, but it's good enough at this range. some grammatical issues out of grenade, but he's not wrong. These ships are just on the wait list to die. Alright, that's the game. Game was decided a little bit ago. A&S with an absolutely astounding victory, completely slaughtering the OSP team. Surprises me a great deal. I noticed in the lobby that the OSP team, at least as far as the rank was concerned, had significantly more experienced players. But oh boy, that didn't matter. That didn't matter one little bit. The complete dearth of a front line completely screwed the OSP team, and they got annihilated. Yeah, that's also a problem. So these are definitely direct fire, no question, based on what we saw, which is foolish. It's very foolish, especially two of them, because there are no. I thought this was going to be genius. By the way, I thought this thing was going to annihilate people, but there's no oomph, there's no punch behind the warheads. They have to be really small to accommodate this absurd volume of points. That's why people usually bring one container ship, because you only have to pay that 1,000-point tax once. That's right. It's 1,000 points to bring one of these to the battlefield. That means this guy only had, and that's just for the hull. Just for the hull. Nothing else. No modules, no nothing. So this guy had 1,000 points to work with. All the internals, all the missiles, 1,000 points. And that is simply it. That's not enough. And that was our player. I actually did something with their containers. I mean, he did do a lot of damage to this voxel. But that is not enough. But the guy who made sure that this was dead brought strong containers. Complex containers. And his team getting just about as bored as the OSP team as I am. Of course, it's not a y'all, it's just this one guy. Shame on you, Secret Mink. What does that even mean? Farm some damage so the match was worth it? I don't understand. Sounds like extra damage means he's gonna get some little reward later. Ah, yes, the I blame my team. I mean, this guy was definitely trolling. But, you didn't play that well either, Huss. Don't blame your team, kids. It's a good way to, yikes, 6.3, to not ever learn. I mean, these were active, direct actives. Yeah. But also don't do this because containers can get shot to pieces if they engage anything for any time. Amount of time at all. What the hell am I going to use for a thumbnail on this? Probably the 3 containers, yeah. That was a weird match. It was a fast match too, 21 minutes, but it was really more like 10 minutes. 14 minutes. Somewhere in there. Not much to say in the AAR other than this guy killed it. This guy killed it. I mean, it's pretty obvious everything that was happening, right? This team, this guy did what he could, but I mean, he just didn't need to do that much. Electronauta was handling his entire side of the map very effectively with his defensive maneuvering. And Spoxel, of course, got beat up right at the end by those line ships that were already toast. This guy kind of got screwed. He had a cute build. But AMMs just aren't good enough. I do appreciate the, like, RP commit, I guess, to bring only missiles. No guns at all. Not even point defense. Just missiles. That's kind of, it's kind of neat. It's a bad idea as far as gameplay and winning goes, but it's a cool idea. It's unique. Oh shit! He did a lot more damage than I was thinking. Oh yeah, I was looking at damage received like an idiot. So never mind. You performed well, my son. Good work. Ah, Revenge of the ANS Yub Nub. ANS players have finally started to figure out OSP a little better. And the update's been out for over a month at this point. But they're adapting. That's good. That's real good. Even though the hype has died down and it's a little harder to get lobbies together. I'm glad that the games seem to be improving. Because there's no just like ANS players playing like it's, I don't know, 1910 and you just drive your battleship forward into battle. Let's go and blow things up, yeah! Without any heed for the threats and the dangers of a modern war zone. Yeah, he was. Electronaut, he was. It's funny, Grenade's like, oh, I died. I'm glad he understands. He's like, oh, I died early, dang. But no, this fleet did work. This is one of the most important ships on the map. Because of its ability to push and drive and keep the OSP team concentrated so they couldn't spread out and play the points game. While the ANS slowly overpowered them. And maybe have lost, maybe have won. He just drove forward, beat the fuck out of them. And everyone else came in and cleaned up. Good work. Good game! This AR has been going on for a little bit too long. If you stayed till the end, appreciated. Glad you enjoyed. And are trying to process this weird game just as hard as I am. Good night.